From the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtics screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody Lou right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. That was a good pop. Freedom 250, Braxton, Woody Lou, Sports and You, episode 39. 15 minutes late, but we're ready to bring it tonight, right, Braxton?
Yeah, we're fired up. Happy birthday to America. The girls partied too hard celebrating yesterday, which led to a delayed bedtime tonight. So I'm sorry to our award-listening listeners for being 30 minutes late to the show.
Yeah, I was following you guys on Instagram, and yeah, the Lewis family partied hardied to celebrate America's 250th birthday down at the House of Mouse, your favorite place. You masochist.
So Kaylee's turning 30 in a couple weeks, and we already have a 5-day Disney trip planned for her and Ronnie Bell's 30th and 3rd birthday parties concurrently. And it was just one of those things. We have the year pass, so we can, in theory, go whenever we want. And like most things, Kaylee does the most talking to me while I'm in the shower in the mornings before work.
Yeah, we talked about this last episode. The Lewis shower family meetings.
I had Friday was off work, so Thursday I was in the shower right before work, and I got in the shower just looking forward to shaving the noggin and getting on my way, and I got it out of the shower before I was even dried off, and found out that we were going to be going to Disney for 2 nights, and it was going to be. She's getting good with her sales tactics. I'm trying to figure out why she's not a salesman or saleswoman at this point, because it got twisted to where this would be a good experience for the girls because it was a surprise, and we've never inherently surprised them with them not knowing what was going to happen. So this was labeled as a surprise. So we. It also was a lot of gaslighting, and I think we might have caused indirect trauma to our girls as we're, rolling into Orlando at 9:00 at night Thursday night, and the fireworks are going off, and you can see all the billboards, and still telling Elliot that this is not Disney World, even though she's very aware that she is in fact in the House of Mouse proper. So it was a wild time.
So let me get this clear. So you load up the car and you did not tell them where you were going?
No, for the first 30 minutes, that was a big deal because Elliot knows our main routes around town, and she was very confused on where we were going. I think she kind of accepted. She thought she had an idea, but they ended up taking naps for most of it, so it kind of worked out. It was a surprise, and they were pretty excited about it. It was a surprise for me too, because typically people know before. At least a day before they go to Disney World, I find out morning of that we spend the night.
Okay.
on the mouse's dime. So it was but it's becoming a problem, Dan. I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but in private about how poor I am at giving gifts. I'm really bad at it, and Kaylee's really good. And I told Kaylee, I was like, we've gone to Disney like twice in the last 3 weeks, and we're going again in 2 weeks. Like every trip we take is terribly cutting into your birthday present potential. It's like every trip is just chewing away. So I made it clear, like part of the fine print. I was like, this is all counting towards a birthday celebration month.
Yes.
So hopefully I get credit for that.
I think you should. I hope you do. Yeah. How is House of Mouse for the 4th of July?
Not a political podcast. I thought it was really cool how patriotic it was.
Good.
If you have preconceived notion of like the Disney, empire, if you will, you might have certain opinion, but it was super patriotic. It was really cool seeing, there's clearly a lot of foreign folks who come to Disney World, like obviously people not from America who were visiting Disney World were also bought into the America 250, just 4th of July in general. It was really cool being at Magic Kingdom on the 4th of July, and they did an Air Force flyover over the castle. That was sick. Whole thing was pretty neat. Same complaints. I walk away from Disney every time I go with the same complaints, and I just get more mad every time. But all in all, it was a good experience. Now having an experience like 4th of July, Christmas, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. The girls had a good time. I obviously had a good time. Didn't want to go to bed tonight. It's late.
Yeah, they had a good time. I think we were at Magic Kingdom for 30 minutes before they had their first dresses purchased. But we're packing. Like if I could pan the camera, you can see I'm surrounded by boxes packed. Most of their dresses are packed, so we got to buy some to give them some. So we had to replenish their on-hand stock by procuring dresses, and nothing's easy with my beautiful angels. I walked up and I was rang up for an Isabella and Ariel dress, and at the final minute, Ronnie Bell wanted to do a swap from Ariel to Tiana.
Oh, quick audible.
The older lady checking us out didn't think it was as magical as maybe sweet Ronnie Bell did, that we were doing a last second change, but it all worked out.
Yeah, I guess the charm of a precious 2-year-old gets lost on those cashiers when they see precious 2-year-olds probably every 2 to 5 minutes.
I think the charm might there's not enough pixie dust to go around for those ladies to power through, but what's cool about Disney, Dan, is I saw me and Elliot were in line to ride Tiana's ride, and it's like a big drop off with water. And we saw a private, it was like a Disney person was escorting a family. Like obviously they were prominent, and they were Middle Eastern, I'm going to assume oil types, just oozing money. But what I thought about in that moment was, no matter how rich you are, or if you've saved for 10 years to go on this trip, when you get in there, we're all amongst them. We're all in the same fight, which also I think is a really cool melting pot of folks. And I hopefully when people go to Disney World, if you're listening, take my advice and don't be the family that sits in a line for 40 minutes on your phone. I cannot stand the folks who just sit on their phone for the whole line. They ride the ride, and as soon as they get off the ride, they're just back on their phone. That makes me angry. So the phone should be banned in Disney World. I think they have the pay phone set up by the restrooms already. It should be like Augusta. You gotta get your phone up.
Yeah. I like that. You go to the most magical place on earth, like, yeah, you should surrender your phone. Or they have like have you seen those bricks? It's like it's a physical thing that has an app connected that will like shut off like certain apps, and then you physically have to like tap your phone to the brick to enable the apps. So like people use it when they go to bed. If you have like an upstairs, downstairs, they'll leave the brick downstairs. So it's like it's a pain to have to go tap it, so they're not like doom scrolling before bed. I feel like Disney could afford it. Just have some massive like dome that's a brick.
Yeah,
Turns off everyone's phone except for like 911.
Instead of just complaining about everything, I will say that it was a magical trip. Every trip with them is magical, and we did have real life magic happen whenever, and it's just so funny. We're trying to mad dash from one side of Walt Disney World across the castle to the other side to go ride one last ride before we hopped over to Epcot. And they were starting to shut stuff down for the 12 o'clock parade that we were trying to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
As we're walking, one of the cast members, she looks at me and she's like, "Sir, can I bother you for a second?" And just like any middle of the mall salesman, like I did not really want to engage in this conversation. And she was like, "Are you going to watch the parade?" And I could see there's a small roped off area right next to us. And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to watch the parade." She's like, could we interest you in being in the VIP section for this parade? I said, "Of course you can bother us with that." So
Of course.
the girls got to be in a VIP section. Elliot was over the moon being the first in line to see she got to shake all the hands and do all the stuff. So
That's magical.
It all worked out very well, and it was a Mickey miracle at
Mickey
the
Miracle.
Square.
That's great. I have a similar story. It was by no means a miracle, but I got pulled to the side somewhat similarly at I went to the Nashville Sound, representing Nashville Sound, my new hat. They played the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp over the weekend. I went Thursday night. I was pulled over by a very pretty blonde that was hawking Margaritaville vacations, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville vacations. And all I had to do to enter this lottery or raffle of sorts was just show my license. So I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. I got one of those. I don't know what information they took down, but they did it very quickly. Must have scanned it or something with their iPads. So I apologize to my mother and father they will probably get Margaritaville junk mail to the end of eternity because my license is still my home of record address.
I love the hat. I'm glad that you're embracing, because there's people that go to these sporting events like don't buy merch, and maybe they want to call it being fiscally responsible. I think it's just ignorant. Like if I go to an event, I have to buy merch, and maybe that's just a neat problem. But if you're on a minor league game, like buy the hat. Just buy it. You don't have to buy a T-shirt. Just buy a hat. So I love the hat. I think it's a great move. Speaking of like minor league affiliate things, I'll tell you this one story. I took Kaylee infamously on our first trip without Elliot.
The Bats, the Louisville Bats, or the Chattanooga Lookouts? Are you retelling this story?
Well, there's a part of the story.
Oh, okay. This is a third edition of what, the Lookouts or the Bats? I can't remember.
The Lookouts. There's a layer to this.
Okay.
First overnight trip without the kid. Take her to Chattanooga to watch Elliot De La Cruz play. She's welcome. But concurrently at the game, they had this just beater Pontiac. I'm talking just a beat the all smithereens Pontiac. And all you had to do it was free. It was a free raffle. You just had to write it down, and it was a free blind draw. And the winner of whoever gets pulled gets this Pontiac, gets to drive off with this Pontiac. And I was so convinced that the stars were aligned for me to win that Pontiac that we were already like planning how we were going to make the drive back in two separate vehicles and getting it registered. But that's just the kind of cool stuff you get at minor league games. It's just the hope of something bigger.
Well, you alluded to it when you were talking about the House of Mouse and how the global community has converged on the United States, and definitely not the minor leagues, but 2026 FIFA World Cup. Braxton, you wanted to talk FIFA World Cup. What do you got?
I don't want to say I was a soccer hater, because I don't think I was a soccer hater. I think I enjoyed soccer, and there's plenty of stories Kaylee can share about how when we were coming to Fort Stewart, I was convinced I was going to get Orlando City FC season tickets. So I'm all in on soccer in theory. I don't ever watch it unless it's a random Saturday morning USA Network Premier League game. or the World Cup. Like I watched America play England back in 2022 when we were duck hunting. That was an awesome experience. Bartenders throwing sweet tea on the ground is awesome. But this one's different. I don't know if it's
Pretty
just our
funny.
yeah, it was actually funny.
That's really funny.
The team's exciting, and it's cool seeing them. America converge, and obviously with the 250, and it's in North America proper. It's really neat, and the scary part is like I'm not just watching the American games. I'm watching the other games. Like if you see me panned over like this, like I'm watching England and Mexico play.
We decided to go again head to head with one of the most anticipated round of 16 games. What do you lose sports and you?
So that's on brand for us. So
Yep.
Catch us at the Super Bowl, but I really just enjoy it, and I've grown a respect for soccer because if you really watch a soccer match, it's not high scoring and people get mad about that, but there is a level of strategy that's happening for the entirety of the match, both halves, 90 minutes in full. Like, it's a slow tactical game. You have aggressive teams, but I've grown a greater respect for it. I think the thing that would put me over the edge on soccer, where I could really say like I'm a soccer guy all the way, is if every game was played with the same rules as a round of 32 on, so there's never a tie. Essentially, like I'm completely cool with 15-15 PKs, and I know people hate to see PKs in the game, but in my opinion, if you have 30 minutes 30-ish, because they have overtime or the additional time added. The 30 minutes of overtime in the penalty kicks to decide a winner, I think, is fair. So if they would adopt that model into a regular season, I think you'd see someone who is a every weekend follower of the sport.
So I do remember, so when the MLS first debuted after the last time the U.S. hosted the World Cup in 1992, the U.S. wanted to make soccer, football, more easier for US fans to adopt as a sport. So they started with, I want to say, I think it was either quarters or halves, and rather than the running clock, running up, it ran down. It was stoppage time. It was the clock would stop, and there was penalty kicks, so no game ended in a tie. That some criticism that the Americans were bastardizing the already beautiful game, as it's called, and even with the nicknames, there were some crazy nicknames, if you remember, for original MLS, like the New York Metro Stars, the Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew, just some wild. I think there's San Jose Earthquakes was one too.
XFL team names.
Yeah, just crazy names, and it didn't really resonate. And then when they started moving more towards the European model, your real pure fans, I think, became more adopting of it.
And on paper, I'm the perfect candidate to become a soccer fan as an American, because as a Kentucky football fan, I am bred to lose most of the time, however, be completely capable of watching 98% of a game to lose in the final 2%, which could be soccer, losing 1-0, if you will. So I'm bred for this. I like it a lot. And, I texted you about Premier League teams and who we might follow.
Yeah. We're going to get into that debate really quick, but I want to first hear your take on the red card that happened in the first U.S. knockout game, and how that has been reviewed and basically rescinded by FIFA's review rules committee.
So, new soccer person, I'm not fresh on the rule book, but just from my perspective on the red card given to Florian Balogun. Flo Balogun, our best player.
Yeah, he's been the best player in this tournament, absolutely, for the U.S.
I don't think the red card was needed. and I base this not off the rule book, but off things I'm watching. The refs are letting a lot of stuff play on. In that same match, Christian Pulisic he got horse collared.
Yep.
And that wasn't even a yellow card. So something as intentional as a horse collar keeping you from retrieving the ball on a break isn't a yellow card. I don't think that you aggressively going for the ball in air and then landing on an opponent's ankle meets the criteria of a red card. I've been listening to SiriusXM channel 157 FC, and
to the favorites.
Yeah, and the folks were talking on there, and they said, "Don't shoot the messenger." But in football, soccer, it's not necessarily intent's not a measurement in providing a card to a player.
Mm-hmm.
They said it's really an instinct. So yeah, if you just look at the instinct of that challenge for the ball, like he stepped all the way down this guy's ankle, and it could have been really, really, really bad. I think there's some like levels to that, especially with the VAR and how prevalent VAR is. Like I feel like cooler heads could prevail, and even if you wanted to send a message of like, "Hey, like, don't do that," like a yellow card would have been appropriate. I think most of the viewers agree it shouldn't have been a red card. However, it was a red card. We played 10-11, still ended up winning, and he was suspended for the next game, which is against Belgium. Today, it breaks that FIFA has rescinded that. President Trump's tweeting about it. Like it's been a whole thing. I will say this: I don't love the decision to rescind his suspension and allow him to play. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's good for America? Yes. Do I think they need to play him and start him just business as usual? Yes. However, I think it takes a lot of things away from us as an American club that matters in our performance inherently. One, America loves to cling on to the idea that we're underdogs in everything, but the best at everything. So we were set up for a situation where this team knocked us out of the World Cup before. They beat us a couple months ago in a friendly 5-2. We have our best striker who scored multiple goals out of the game. Like that's set up for America to win.
Yeah.
And it'd be great. But it's also set up for us to lose and say, well, you took our best striker away. I don't know what you want from him. So now reinstating him, I think that adds a little bit of pressure, not only to the team, but to him individually. And if you are going to argue that he's our best striker and our best player playing at the moment, that might affect his form for the match. And if you just take a step back, the same thing happened, and we were playing the World Cup in Belgium. And the day before we're supposed to play Belgium in the Sweet 16, their best player who was given a red card, regardless if it was warranted or not, gets rescinded 24 hours prior. There'd be another revolution happening. So to be fair, I think, you do have to ride it out in this scenario, but we get them. And so no excuses now, right? We got to go out and win the match.
Yeah. I disagree. I'm super happy it was rescinded. I want this team at full strength. I acknowledge that it was pretty good, like locker room material, and that underdog mentality, like harkening back to the U.S. men's hockey team in 1980 and Herb Brooks, and like no one expects us to beat this team. But this is the most successful U.S. men's national team, I mean, since the initial World Cup when the U.S. went down to Uruguay and came in third place. So I want this team at full strength, and I want them to absolutely pulverize Belgium and get revenge. I think it was 2014. 2014 was when they got knocked out by Belgium. And I mean, Belgium, like they should be kissing our shoes for what we did for them in World War II. So I can't wait to beat the pants off of Belgium.
I have a lot of opinions on Belgium as a country. Not
oh boy, careful.
Belgium. Like, what is Belgium? Like, the best thing that comes out of Belgium is French fries. They're not even named after them. We thought so little of Belgium that we named them French fries in World War II, not even Belgian fries. So, it is what it is. I hope we beat them. I'm so excited.
Yep.
Like it, and you can do like a deep study on this, and this feels like something. Big Cat from Part of My Take, he's big on the World Cup right now. there might be a level of we're so excited because we're in the dog days of summer in baseball. Like July is when like this the All-Star break in baseball is when just baseball just slows down for a lot of folks, doesn't pick back up again until late August, early September.
Yeah.
And we're kind of clamoring for football, like American football. So this is something that's easy to cling on to. But I really enjoy it, and I've already looked up the schedule for Premier League. I know that's coming up soon in August, and it runs through May. So huge season, even more than NHL. So it is what it is. I'm excited. I just hope we beat Belgium, and I hope we go to the Elite Eight. And I think we're looking at Spain or Portugal, the winner
Correct.
of that matchup.
I think both Spain and Portugal very beatable. So gotta get through Belgium.
Got house money.
Yep.
Elite Eight, we're house money.
Yeah.
So.
And I was actually just thinking about this right now, and if we're going not like year 2026, but if we're going like calendar from like basically like Labor Day to Labor Day, I'm curious how often this happens, but like just some incredible like world global tournaments to really celebrate and cheer on like Team USA. Like we had the Ryder Cup beginning in September 2025, then US men's hockey at the Olympics in the gold medal, winning the gold medal, then quickly went to World Baseball Classic, and now we got the World Cup. Like it's awesome.
It is awesome, and it shows just how much of a USA stan I am, because they had a commercial for the women's FIBA World Cup that's coming up, and I was like, I'll cheer for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, if you're riding with the stars and bars, like I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna tune in and cheer for it. So
I'm curious, like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, do you think that could be like a dream team, like Michael Isaiah situation, where like Michael, who I don't know who's probably Caitlin Clark is Michael Jordan in that situation, and just like Isaiah's not on this team.
I'll tell you this: I'm not going to just watch an Indiana Fever and New York Liberty game, but those personalities and the backdrop they have from college into the WNBA and all the drama that's going on with Caitlin Clark right now, if they did a documentary of this FIBA women's national team and say they did make a really deep run, like that would be a documentary that I would tune in for quickly.
Yeah. Did you see? I don't know. Was that Liberty when she got like choke slam? Did you see that? Caitlin Clark just got like
rough stuff, dude. Like
she gets beat up every game.
My favorite radio host, who has a show in Kentucky every day from 10 to noon, he said that we need to stop complaining about it, and it happens every night, and it's just our fault for not watching the WNBA that we don't notice all the egregious fouls, and Caitlin Clark isn't special. I disagree. Like, I think Caitlin Clark is inherently targeted, because and the reason I believe that is because I can see how these women do feel a type of way about her. So it makes sense. I can see where the animosity comes from, but that doesn't mean that you should choke somebody. Like, I'm here for a little rough foul, but the neck stuff, I get enough. That's bush.
I mean, I kind of got it at the beginning of her career, like coming in and selling out like the most like ticket sales, ticket prices, when she went on the road, selling out these, venues that these teams they couldn't sell out, hadn't sold out probably ever in the history of a regular season WNBA game. And she hadn't done anything. She hadn't proved anything. But I think she's year 3. I know she was hurt for a lot of last season. But I mean, she's like at this point, like
I think it's her third year, because like their season starts quickly after the drafts.
Yeah. Right. So she completed her senior year at Iowa, then immediately started playing for the Indiana Fever. So at this point, it's like, why are you kicking the crap out of her when she has raised the profile of this league and gotten everyone paid? Like, you should be thanking her.
And my counter argument to that radio host I just mentioned was, if any other female WNBA player got fouled that hard, it's not on ESPN the next day. It just objectively is not. So she is different, and
yeah,
call it what it is. So
yeah. Is that what you wanted to discuss with that radio host that we're no longer saying his name? Apparently, you had mentioned in pre-production that you wanted to have some time, the floor, if you will, to talk about KSR.
Yeah, I wanted to give him his flowers. He is a Transylvania alum who went to Duke Law School and was an attorney on the DC circuit. And he segued that to a blog, which resulted in him getting onto a black gospel station in Louisville, Kentucky that reached about 5 miles in range.
Which, if you're looking for to have another show, this is our tryout reel, if you will, to that black gospel radio station.
They took him on, and I think he's famously said, like, you could catch him for like 3 miles on the interstate, and then it would just lose service. On to having over 50 affiliates in the state. On to doing the bracket reveal show for the men's tournament. On to having Sunday mornings with Matt and Myron, which was a segue into the NFL pregame show. And he now has, Dan, ESPN announced that him and Matt and Myron Metcalf will have a daily 3 to 5 o'clock ESPN radio national syndicated show.
Wow.
Yeah. And he, this is me giving him his flowers. He talks about how much he can't stand Pat McAfee and how much he can't stand, and he doesn't like what he stands for, but he also gives him his flowers and saying that if it wasn't for Pat McAfee and bringing the whole, we talk about the world and sports are centered around it in a capacity, he wouldn't be able to do this. So your enemy is your friend. So good for him.
I'm curious, do you think his show will translate to a national audience? Because I feel like his whole bit was being like a liberal in a traditionally red state and just being like a hater.
It has, and that's why it's frustrating, because the Matt and Myron show has done really well, and I think from a ratings bump, obviously from the KSR faithful that follows him on the mornings. But he's said how ESPN has loosened the reins on him and letting him because he's talked so much about how he just doesn't know anything about sports in general. Like, someone on KSR called in last week, Dan, and wanted to discuss some of the women's basketball team had gotten a lot of high profile transfers. And the person just said, hey, can you guys discuss these 3 high profile transfers the women's team just got? To which he said, I don't know what you want from me. It's not like I don't know anything about them, so why would I talk about it?
Kentucky Sports Radio is the name of his show.
Yeah, so he was able to take Kentucky Sports Radio, where he couldn't talk about the 3rd most popular sport on campus, and segue that to a nationally syndicated 3 to 5 p.m. Afternoon drive show on ESPN Radio. So that's awesome for him. Couldn't be more happy. He is famously, just updating his life, he bought the house off our old offensive coordinator. And he's such an adult that he bought the house, and he had to call the old offensive coordinator's spouse to find out how to turn off the alarm in their home. He didn't know how to turn off the security alarm, so he had to call the previous homeowner to find out how to turn off the alarm. He has a pool that he doesn't know how to maintain. Good for him, dude. I'm so happy. And he started a little bit. I guess he started about our age, if we're being honest, though. I think he was probably
your age,
early 30s. If you split the difference.
All right.
So if you average our median age out about then, and he has segued that to ESPN, so I'm really happy for him. It's awesome.
Well, my content gears are spinning. I think that would be great content if somehow you become a recurring call-in person, and then we segue that into Woody Lou Sports and You content, kind of like Howard Stern prank calling into Tradio.
Yeah, so couple things. My new job, I can't have a cell phone.
That 3 to 5 is gonna be tough.
But there is a world where, I set a precedent early that, I take, hey, Captain Lewis takes his 10-minute smoke break at 4:10 like 4:07 to 4:15. Like, dude just has to take a second to finish out his day. I call in as like Lou from Kentucky, and you call in as Woody from Tennessee, and maybe we're both recurring callers.
Yeah.
And it's Lou from Kentucky, Woody from Tennessee, and like they start making small connections. Like we don't start out strong, but like as we kind of get recurring like roles and airtime, like I start talking about me and my buddy Woody, and he's like, "Wait, Woody from Tennessee?" I'm like, "I don't know who Woody from Tennessee is," but anyway, so me and Woody, and then we just go on. It's a little.
We could do this. We can figure this out. We'll get the Mad Hatter involved too.
He'll just. I don't think we want to give him an open mouthpiece to match. Like he obviously has it every day, but if he was encouraged to call, like he gets mad.
I think that'd be great content.
It would be good content, and then we're able to record the show so we can do recaps on our show of the call-ins, and then it's good for everybody.
I think that's one way to take advantage of this boon for your sworn enemy.
It's actually a platform for us if you think about it. We've been provided this platform.
Exactly. When life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade.
And I just call in, and all you have to do is just call in and ask about the hottest sports topic, and he won't know anything about it, and then just like ask the follow-up question of, Matt, how do you not know about Dak Prescott's new contract? I don't know. Like we don't know about this.
Does Matt Jones, does he have an English Premier League team? Does he follow soccer?
Yes, he follows. His he keeps saying his Carolina Hurricanes just won Stanley Cup, and that's going to be a goal for England in the 36th minute against Mexico. He's a Carolina Hurricane fan. They just won Stanley Cup, and he
probably roots for Iran in the World Cup. Matt Jones.
Clip that, but yeah, that'll be real. No, he's a Tottenham Hotspur fan, so that's not going to be my team ever.
Yeah, I wanted to segue into your picking of an English Premier League team. I'm not surprised that Matt Jones picked Tottenham Hotspur. That's a very I would say chalk cliche American pick.
Oh, I'm a cheer for the Yankees. I'm new to baseball.
Dallas Cowboys. All right, Braxton. So I see you're pulling up your phone. Is you got some notes on how you picked your team?
No. Well, I'll tell you how I picked my team. I picked my team from Unity because we have a shared love and passion. And this is a whole other topic we could go into about Kaylee is starting to feel a type of way about how I leverage Grok. I leverage Grok. She says I just won't stop talking to the AI, and I'm ruining the.
Is Producer Kaylee getting a little jealous how much you're texting Grok?
No, she's becoming a tree hugger and says I'm killing the environment by using AIs this much. She's apparently there's a big environmental impact that I don't recognize.
Well, yeah, it's all the data centers, yeah.
So, and I'm just going to quickly recap my conversation with Grok so you understand where I was coming from, and then we'll get to the end state. All I said to Grok was, hey, I'm all in on the FIFA World Cup. I think I might be a soccer guy now. How can I watch Premier League games? When's the season? How long's the season? It answers all the questions. Starts around, third week of August, goes through the last week of May. Gave me the season structure. Cool. Peacock Premium. I confirmed that you have a subscription, so I'll get that password in the third week of August. I was like, awesome. Help me decide on a team to follow. Ask me some questions. Do you want to help me determine it? Blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, I have no connections to England. I'm a Kentucky Wildcat football fan. I want gritty blue collar squad. I would prefer a high tempo offense. Don't want to be a bandwagon to the best team. I'm okay with some down years with potential upside every other 3 years. Took all that, and Newcastle United was the team we went with. I did a quick Google search of Newcastle United. I found no notable flaws except for the fact that it would be a 4.5-hour drive from the airport if Kaylee and I ever did make the trip to London. I send that to you, and you quickly dispelled that and said that's not going to be a thing. We're not Newcastle fans.
Nope.
We're Fulham fans.
That's right.
So I did a quick Google search, and I just went to Amazon Prime, and I put in Newcastle United hats, and I put in Fulham hats, and Fulham had far better merchandise and hats specifically. I googled their quick background, found out their nickname. I really like their nickname, the Whites, and I like the fact that they're the Whites because they rock a slick white kit,
Yeah.
and I like the traditionalism in that. It's almost Penn State-ish, if you will, or Notre Dame-ish, or insert whoever.
I mean, I think they're more of like they're the Red Sox before the Red Sox, the '04 basically like renaissance of Theo Epstein, and then competing for World Series championships. But I liken them to basically the 1918 to the 2004 Boston Red Sox of the English Premier League.
I love their uniform. I love that their stadium was old but modern on the river.
Yep.
There's some mystique there, like the hats. So I don't know if are we the Fulham Football Club? Is that the FFC?
Yep, FC Football Club.
So I'm all in, and I've been flirting with Notre Dame and all this stuff. I was really excited about the idea that I do have a slight breakup I have to make on air, but in general, I'm fully committed to the same team as you. I did have like a slight part of my life where I was a West Ham United fan.
Okay. Did you watch Green Street Hooligans, and that's why you liked West Ham?
So I may have watched one game. So just so Mad Hatter and I are clear, like that is, I have separated from that. I am all in on Fulham, and me and Woody are hand in hand in unison. No disputes here, going all in this season. And I also thought that'd be easier way for me to procure his Peacock password. So we're good.
I will support the lending of the Peacock password for Fulham FC support.
It'd be awkward if you got on there. It's like, who's watching all the Newcastle highlights?
Yeah, I'll quickly change the password. I was getting ready to have a debate here on Newcastle versus Fulham, and I had a bunch of notes about why Fulham FC is the team of choice for an American football fan.
I'm waving the white flag, and
Okay.
I love the idea. And you know what I've already done for us, Dan? I have already researched bars in Louisville and Nashville for me to tell Kaylee, hey,
cool.
I gotta leave at 4 a.m. to go meet Dan at this bar to watch a Fulham game or Fulham match together.
I'm excited for that. So there was a bar in Boston. It was the corner of Beacon and Mass Ave, Crossroads Pub, great neighborhood pub. And that's where Notre Dame, we would watch Notre Dame games there. But it was also a Manchester United bar, and they played in the morning on Saturday. So we get like some overlap getting ready for the Notre Dame game. And oh man, Manchester United fans, they got after it.
And you know what? I think Kaylee's learning this for the first time, but have I already kind of planned out, like you and I, getting the scarves and the hats and doing hey, we're bellied up at 9 a.m. watching the Fulham game at this bar straight into college football for the rest of the day and night.
Yeah, how are you going to sell that one, Braxton?
It's going to cost me, but that will be an awesome Saturday.
Yeah.
And
we got to choose those Saturdays wisely.
And let me talk dirty to you for a second, Dan.
Oh, please.
Let me put this in your ear. And I don't have Vanderbilt's schedule, but imagine a world where on a Friday night after work, I get the green light from Kaylee because I've been an awesome husband this week, and I have already clearly signed a contract stating the terms of reimbursement to her for this weekend. So we're no animosity. I leave work on a Friday, get to your house, your apartment on Friday night. We're in the bar at 8 or 9 or whatever time in the morning for the Fulham game. We segue that into whatever the noon.
Big noon
I guess
kickoff.
there'd be 11 o'clock in Central Time.
Yep, that's right.
But then, like, what if SEC Nation was there, and then what if there's a big noon and 3 o'clock ABC slate, and then what if, like, I don't know, Vanderbilt was playing a Texas A&M at home at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night that night, and we found tickets somehow. Like, oops, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah,
that'd be a pretty good day. I don't know.
Phenomenal fall Saturday in Nashville.
If we were still awake by the time the third quarter, got going, that'd be a win. But it'd be a fun day.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some research probably after the show just to see what you got for Fulham bars in Nashville. I'm excited.
It'll be a whole day.
It was better than the Notre Dame bar out by the airport. That place stinks.
Nothing by the airport's ever a problem. England has scored twice, one more time since the 36th minute. Mexico scored one. It scores 2-1 going into halftime.
Where is it at the Azteca? Is Mexico getting like that real home field advantage?
Can't hear it. Mexico's got a scoring opportunity right here. England blocks or clear the box. It's 2-1. At 36 minutes, England scored 1-0, and it's now 2-1 England, 44-54.
As much as I don't want to root for England on July 4th weekend, Freedom 250 weekend, the fact that Mexico gets to play in the Azteca, I want England to beat the brakes off of Mexico.
I disagree, Dan, and I'm going to tell you why. She asked me who I was cheering for. Me and her couldn't decide. I think I'm kind
Who's
of...
her, Brock?
Kaylee.
Okay.
She asked me who I was for, and like, I kind of want North America. Canada's out. Canada got knocked out by Morocco in the Sweet 16. So like, I like the idea of America or Mexico winning with it being in North America.
Okay. All right. So you want one of the hosts to win? That makes sense.
But here's the thing. Oh, they almost scored. You're mad about the Azteca. Like, it's America's fault we decided to play on the West Coast. We could have orchestrated an environment playing anywhere else. Like,
they should have played DC or Philly.
They should have played in DC or Philly. That's the obvious place. Eagles or where the Commanders play. That made the most sense. Why we chose Inglewood and San Clemente and Seattle. That's beyond me. That's our own fault.
Arguably, Seattle is one of the most un-American cities currently.
Yeah,
we won't dive into that too deep, but I'm just gonna leave it there.
The Philadelphia and DC would have been good choices because like transportation, it would have been easier for more people from the country. It would have been. I don't know. I like that better. Or even New York.
Well, speaking of New York, I think it's a great segue into the wedding of probably the millennium that everyone's talking about and took a little bit of the shine away from Freedom 250 is the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce Friday night wedding at Madison Square Garden. I know you got thoughts on this, Braxton.
So I got on Facebook after a night at the Magic Kingdom and I saw they got married. I immediately texted you and Kaylee in the production chat and said, Taylor Swift's divorce album is going to be so awesome. Fast forward 18 hours, and there's the news report comes out that in their prenup, Travis has already put in the prenup that she cannot have a divorce album. And that sucks bad. The divorce album is what we were all looking forward to because, they're married for 60 years and they pass away happily ever after. That's cool. What about the divorce album in 8 years? Because Travis Kelce gets caught with someone who, worst case, I want it to be worst case scenario. So I'm just talking just like an unknown, just whatever craziness. And that divorce album coming out of that. And then to see all the Swifties transfer their hate to him. And then like, he's been retired for like 6 years at this point, and like now they hate. They can't like Arrowhead Stadium's on fire, like just the chaos that could ensue, or the idea of her performing her divorce album against Travis Kelce at Arrowhead. How lit would that be? There was a lot of opportunities missed by that prenup being signed in that fashion, so I'm really disappointed about that happening. Also, they had Adam Sandler officiate. Huge Adam Sandler guy, like that just kind of showed me like how big of a shtick this is. Like I'm just not sold.
That's what I want to get into, and I don't root against love like you, Braxton. The breakup album. That was not.
Tell me that wouldn't be a great album.
It would be a good album. It would be a good album, but it's not something I'm cheering for. But I am gonna weigh in on this. I didn't know it was going to be at Madison Square Garden. I'm sure people that were in the know knew forever that it was at Madison Square Garden, and there was 1,000 people. And like you said, like one of the biggest surprises coming out of it, Adam Sandler officiated. I know that Travis Kelce was in Happy Gilmore too, but like how I guess when you're megastars, like megastars just collide and have these weird, like tight relationships. But like how bizarre was that?
No, okay, so this is what's weird for me, Dan, and I guess this is kind of a loaded like this might be like a straw man's argument, because I guess Taylor Swift's been famous since she was what
Like 17, 16, 17.
16, 17, right? Travis Kelce's essentially been famous since he got drafted. I'm not going to play at Cincinnati since he's been drafted. He's been famous every time, and we've been doing this a lot because it happens every time we drive up I-95 North, and you see all the lottery signs. Like me and Kaylee play the game of, oh, we just won the 550 million Mega Millions.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm going through the list of things I'm doing with this bukus of money that I've just procured, like my life, like some of my property and assets have changed, but like my lifestyle at its core has not. So, for example, if 29-year-old Braxton just won the Mega Millions or became rich and famous, right? If I already had this core of people or like whatever, and I had a core of people in college, like the same people I'm core with from like as an output of college are still my closest friends outside of work people I've met, people, you know what I'm saying? Like people I've met at work. So like the idea that, hey, I'm getting married now, I'm gonna have this famous dude that like I was an extra on one of his movies, and now we're so close that he's gonna officiate my commitment before God. Like I think it just kind of shows like it's like make believe. I just don't think it's genuine, and Kaylee is gonna defend Taylor Swift until the end, but like I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's not genuine. It's not genuine at all.
Yeah, I think we knew the guest list was going to be like the who's who of just the A list of pop culture, but like I also think it's weird where Taylor Swift has an estate in one of the most beautiful places on earth on the Rhode Island shore, like near Newport, and it's July 4th weekend. And maybe this was being considerate of like tourists and travel, but
Local.
like you also don't have to have your wedding on 250th birthday of America. Like they controlled what the wedding date was, but like why wouldn't you get married in one of the most beautiful beach settings instead of like downtown disgusting New York? I did read that they did do Madison Square Garden like pretty nice. Like it was like a botanical garden. Like they got rid of like all the sports banners, and it was very tasteful and very nice, or what reports are. But like, why not get married like on a scenic overlook of the ocean?
It's just not real, man. Like when I think about my wedding, like to me that was real. Like it's just not real. And that's what frustrates me with my wife, who I just love so much, is she's so all in on Taylor Swift. And like Taylor Swift, like this isn't Tears Drop of My Guitar Taylor Swift. This is like Red Oak Tree, Redwood Tree Taylor Swift. Like this is just a different it's just not the same person. It's not genuine. Like
We do have some
like they had
input
all these celebrities.
I'm okay with that. We do have some input
What is she
from your
No,
wife, producer Kaylee. She's saying that Taylor didn't want pictures to get leaked and have paparazzi everywhere, hence having a closed venue like Madison Square Garden. I think that that's letting the terrorists win, in my opinion. Is you?
Yeah, they've
had
already blew the NDA.
That's my argument. As soon as you let the paparazzi dictate your wedding, we've lost.
Can we just say the quiet part out loud?
We're
I don't
live,
care how
Braxton.
much
Just
money
remember
you-
we're live.
I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what stretch of resources you have available. If you can rent out Madison Square Garden for a week, that right there highlights how much money you have and how much power you have. No one is close enough to 1,000 people that they would invite to their wedding in real life, which is what I'm saying. This is not real life.
That's fair.
I could have an endless account of money, and me and Kaylee could be getting married, and I have a blank check of a gazillion, the richest person ever, the most famous person ever. And Dan, I could not sit down and invite 1,000 people to my wedding. It would be the people I was close with in childhood, high school, college, work, and like that's not just people I'm friendly with. Those are people that I care about.
Yeah. You probably could like invite your battalion and still be short like 200 people.
I could. It's what are we talking about? Like it's not genuine. And I guess to my point is like I think if this was a genuine love, like they like let on, they would have had a private island. They would have chartered private charter jets for their friends. It would have been a wedding of about approximately, just cut it in half, 500 people.
Yeah.
Because you got to think. I saw the thing where he invited all of his teammates.
Yep. Except for one. Did you see the one that he didn't invite, the kicker?
Are you serious?
Well, apparently this kicker has made some controversial comments about a woman's role in a relationship that Travis Kelce, obviously, I mean, Taylor Swift being the megastar that she is, does not agree with. So he was the only Chief player that was not invited.
I know who you're talking about now. And, you know, that's giving big Jesse and Buzz from Toy Story 5 vibes. But anyway, I didn't play college or professional sports, but I've been a part of sports teams for, I guess, at least 18 years. You're not that close to everyone on your team, regardless if you're 4 years old or 18 or 22 or 34. Like, you're just not that close to everyone on your team. So it's just, they were just pumping numbers, dude.
Yeah.
And here's another question. What wedding gifts were they getting? Or were they doing the thing that said donate to this charity that probably was like paying someone's salary?
That's a great question. I would hope that they were doing some sort of, like, in lieu of gifts, charitable contributions.
Sure. All right. Let me know, Kaylee, about this true love they have. I don't know. It's just not real.
Don't you think there's an aspect of not upsetting people, though? That's from producer Kaylee. I think, you go to that private island.
That's how you know if you're that close.
Yeah.
Maybe cut some sling load a little bit.
And there were no gifts confirmed. No gifts.
Oh, that's good. They couldn't afford it.
$23 million to charities the day before the wedding. Wow, well, that's good.
Yeah, and then you find there's gonna be an audit, and you're gonna find out that the owner of that charity, like, don't get me started. How much of that money is actually okay?
Speaking of charitable giving, another good segue into our final ticker topic of the evening. And I know that you haven't had a chance to read it yet, but latest book release by Barstool Sports president and founder Dave Portnoy, his memoir, Cancel Me If You Can. I did have an opportunity. I listened to it. It's available on Spotify Premium. It's narrated by the author. And I think it's a better listen than a read, personally. So Braxton, I'll let you start on your thoughts on Cancel Me If You Can, and then I'll give. I mean, I don't think there's any spoilers. Like, everyone kind of knows for the most part, like Dave's story and Barstool's story, but I'll give some thoughts in my review of the book.
Yeah, so I mean, with Dave and just in general, like I told you when it first came out, I didn't know if I was going to read it because I tried to read Matthew McConaughey's book, but I couldn't get through it because I kept reading it. It was written like he was talking, and I couldn't get through that. So with it being an audiobook, I'm definitely probably going to throw that on in the truck and at work and listen to it. But I think I like Dave because I see myself acting as he does if I was as rich as he was. For example, like, dude still just eats pizza and does whatever he wants, and he wears hoodies and normal clothes, and he has a house on Nantucket, but like I'd have a house on Nantucket too, probably. And he's just chilling, and he's obviously worked hard, it wasn't given to him. You were talking about how you remember like the OG newspapers he was pumping out, and
Hmm.
the cool thing about Dave, about Dave that I admire the most, if you could say you admire anything, is he manages so many personalities, and he is so good at separating personal and business, and he knows what's good for business even if he can't stand somebody, and he leverages that for the good of the company, which you could say is leveraging it for the good of him as well. But um, he's able to separate that better than I could. But once those connections are off, the gloves are also off, and he is not scared to get after it. And he takes a lot of pride in being the man you can't cancel, as
Yeah.
the title alludes to.
Yeah, and it was like nothing really new in the audiobook for the most part. Like if you followed Barstool, like listen to his podcasts, like you know the story of him, starting a print newspaper that started as like gambling picks, and it was purely print, and he would, he did everything. Like he wrote the articles, he got it printed, he delivered it. Once a week, and just like a really incredible story of him, taking out his savings, getting a loan from his father to start this business, and how he was just scraping by for almost the first like 10 years of the company. So I knew Barstool. Like I didn't. I mean, I was still kind of young when it first released as a newspaper, but I do remember like the covers of these like very beautiful women at the local like tea stations. And then when it became a blog was when I was in college, and remember, going on the blog, like super funny articles, had the smoke shows of the day. It was always fun when you knew someone or someone knew someone that was the smoke show of the day. And then going through the history of when he actually started to make money, and that was when they started doing like music, like concert promotion. So there's like the Back to Stool, Barstool Blackout tour. um and I never went, but I was in college at the time, and I knew people that went to these events. And I mean, Barstool was massive in Boston, and it still is. So it was kind of nostalgic, reading through and like going back through the history of Barstool Sports. And I think what is so impressive about Dave Portnoy and why he's never been canceled is because he has always been so brutally honest, with his fans and his readers. And whenever these like, hit pieces come out, like he has the receipts, and he's never hidden from anything. And he's been an open book. And I mean, he does acknowledge like, when he's made a bad joke, and when he's done something stupid, as far as, that famous quote of the size 6 skinny jeans. Like he owns up to that. He's like, I thought it was funny at the time, clearly wasn't funny. When he drops in N-bomb rapping to the lyrics of a song, he's like, yeah, that was pretty stupid. um so it's listening to it was, yeah, it's like a long form podcast. But I do think what the most interesting part of it was that I remember when this happened, because I was consuming a lot of Barstool content during COVID, because that was, I mean, that was really one of the only things that was going on when there wasn't, live sports. And it was funny. But the whole Call Her Daddy saga, I don't know how much you're familiar with Call Her Daddy, Braxton.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll let you finish, but yes, during COVID, I too was also very, and this is a big attention grabber as well. This whole saga.
Yeah, so the allegation, and this is all in the headlines too, and he goes into detail about it in the book, and I highly recommend this chapter, is that both Alex Cooper and Sophia Franklin, the co-hosts of Call Her Daddy, I mean, I think they had only been doing it for like 6 months, and I think he started them off at around like 75,000 a year
75.
per. And obviously it blows up and it is a monster podcast, and they get people in their ears that are telling them what their worth is, but they're signed to a 3-year deal, and they're trying to get out of it to get more money. And they were at least as he says it, they were going to file a sexual harassment like complaint against him to get out, a fabricated sexual harassment complaint to get out of their 3-year contract, which is based on everything he said and some of the actions, at least of Sophia Franklin, after Call Her Daddy and she left that show, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you said a lot right there. To catch up, yes, my introduction to Barstool was in high school, like 2012, by way of the Smoke Show of the Day, and then like got onto the blog from the Smoke Show of the Day. Saw the Smoke Show of the Day, which then segued into like this blog post about whatever. And then, for me, and I don't know if he hit on this book, I feel like half his book should be just him praising Big Cat and PFT, because the part of my take, just enterprise that it is, like just as an outsider, like to me, part of my take is 50%, if not 75%, of the coreness of what Barstool is today. Like if Busting with the Boys can come and go, Call Her Daddy can come and go. Like I truly think part of my take is like the bedrock of what they need to maintain. Well, whatever. I think that also really highlights, obviously, the respect he has for Big Cat, that he let him go to Chicago, and I think that's probably part of him staying, was him allowing him to open the Chicago office, XYZ. Anyway, the Sophia thing, that was huge in 2020, and I remember that all coming down. And like I remember, because in this, back to Big Cat, and maybe why I view Big Cat in this like space is, I came back to Barstool in COVID because of Big Cat doing the Coach Doug playing NCAA 14.
Yeah.
Dude, me and Kaylee we had an alarm. We were still dating. Were we dating? We weren't engaged yet. We were dating, and like she'd be at my house that weekend. Like we were watching these games as if they were real football. But anyway, from that, it transitioned to me kind of getting back in the Barstool sphere. And I remember the Call Her Daddy stuff, and clearly Sophia Franklin was put out to be the bad guy and all of that, about her and Suit Man.
Peter Nelson, from HBO.
How like they were the real perpetrators, and at the end of the day, like Alex Cooper was the one who was doing the editing, and like Sophia was just an additional talent, but Alex was what was the engine that kept it going, and like it was. But you saying that, and I haven't listened to the book, but I do find it interesting that if he's now kind of calling out both of them for the sexual harassment suit, it almost sounds as if two friends doing this podcast came to a point where they were like committed to burning the ships, and Sophia Franklin did in fact burn the ship, while Alex Cooper didn't necessarily commit with her friend, which is interesting. I remember when all that hit off, I turned on. I'd never listened to the show, and I turned on like their most recent episode whenever all this was happening with her and Sophia. And I was, how old was I? 23. My face was red as your hat listening to that show. I made it 5 minutes, and like I pulled a Patsy. I had to get off that. Like, this is too much, dude. I'm 23 and this is vulgar. But sex sells, I guess. So no, he's interesting. He did like Rough and Rowdy, huge. They did that at KSR. Not Dave Portnoy, but part of my take, they still do the yearly show of KSR. I don't know if you listened to it this year. Like they always host an episode of KSR on the radio, which is always electric. So I'm pro Barstool. I'm pro, because you got to think Barstool's whole business model is just the guys being guys and the girls being girls. Clearly, Call Her Daddy. Guys talking about guy stuff, girls talking about girl stuff, and sometimes when that's your business model and that's your space, and you're doing stuff live and you're putting stuff out constantly, sometimes the guys say stuff to the guys that's inappropriate to the masses, and it is okay sometimes to make that mistake and own it. Some things are unforgivable, clearly, but to be able to own it, say that wasn't cool, it's good, and it shows a nation healing.
Yeah. No, yeah. So that Call Her Daddy chapter is good. Very, very interesting. Just with how massive Alex Cooper has become, and going back to like where she started. And I mean, she does like, and I think she does say it in her media that she started at Barstool Sports. She owes it all to Dave for launching her. Sophia apparently is writing her own memoir. I'm curious, what maybe it's like a magazine article. I don't know how she's filling up a full
It's
book.
money. It's just Dan, you're the resident attorney at law.
Yes.
I feel like, in saying that, I feel like most agents typically have a law background. I think a lot of the good ones are lawyers by.
Sure.
I just feel like, and then I don't think she was going through an attorney unless the book says so. She was going through a boyfriend who worked at HBO Max. I don't know his background, but if you and me are in a situation where Woody Lou Sports and You is hired by Barstool Sports, holy crap, we've made it. And he says, Woody and Lou, we're going to give you, we'll account for some inflation here, $90,000 for a 3-year contract, $90,000 a year, plus merch sales. First off, I'm saying you can go ahead and forge my DocuSign, dude. Just go ahead. Like, I don't even got to log in and look at it. If you're telling me 3 years, $90,000 a year plus merch, sign it. But let's say after the first year, there's quarterly reviews. Let's say the yearly review comes out, and the Barstool Power Rankings of most listened to podcasts and interactions and merch was Pardon My Take, Spit and Chicklets, Woody Lou Sports and You.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were like, dang, well, Big Cat and PFT are making, I don't even want to know. Let's just say $5 million a year for their podcast. Spit and Chicklets is making $2.25 million a year for their podcast. We're making $90,000. In my head, I'd be like, hey, I love the Barstool platform. The Barstool platform, me and Woody are talented, but Barstool platform's obviously a huge bump because we have been an audience that fits our niche.
Mm-hmm.
My approach to our agent would be like, hey, just go tell Dave, we would hey, obviously our year speaks for itself. We're not going anywhere. We appreciate our position here at Barstool. We're not trying to do a money grab. Mm-hmm. However, we do want to be compensated respectfully with with our trajectory. Can we offer a 6-year contract and you up our salary to, I don't know, $1 million a year with every 2 years of the 6-year contract's a review. So we're locked in for.
Oh no, we lost Braxton. Where'd he go? He's back.
No. I'm back.
Yeah.
But I would work in terms of hey, I want to be with you long term. Let's increase the salary now. We'll review it in 2 years at a percentage increase. Blah blah blah. I'm committed to you, Dave. If you say kick rocks, that hurts my feelings. But I'm trying to in the good hand. I wouldn't go hey, Dave made a racist joke. We're gonna sell it to the New York Times and see what we can get.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you. And he talks about that a lot in the book. He also talks about his hatred for agents, it's very funny. But no, he has his whole philosophy, whereas, hey, we made a contract. This is what we agreed to. You can't, and that's what he talked about a lot in that Call Her Daddy, because they were comparing their salaries to Pardon My Take. But he's like, they're absolutely crushing it, but you got to look at what Pardon My Take was making in year one. They've had 4 years to build their brand and their content and their followers. And you guys have been here for less than a cup of coffee, and you cannot discount that Barstool bump to your IP becoming that valuable. And that's where his stance was, which I kind of agree with. And it's almost like a value of a rookie contract. You get these guys that are outperforming their contract. And that's just the team wins on that. And then you get to free agency, and that's when the player can make money.
Yeah, I kind of recant what I said, because in hindsight, if we're being realistic, if Woody Lou were picked up by Barstool and we signed $90,000 a year contracts, and obviously that's less than we're making now in our current jobs, but my job was $90,000 a year to do this, and even in a higher scale, even with my 3 kids and trying to pay for New York or Chicago, whatever living expenses, I'd figure it out. all I would need from Dave is like a quarterly or yearly or biannual review of just like, hey, you guys are crushing it. Like, trust me, it's all going to pay off. If he just told me that, that'd be enough. I'd be like, all right, dude, I'm so committed. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I'd just rough
Yeah.
it in.
And it is interesting too. You brought up a part of my take. There's another good chapter where he talks about his relationship with part of my take. And I mean, people knew about this, I think, but at the start of the when they moved to New York and part of my take launched, PFT commenter hated Dave, like hates Dave.
I knew that.
So it was just interesting hearing his position on that and working with PFT's agent and keeping part of my take happy, but also having a frustration where he felt part of my take was trying to separate themselves from the Barstool brand and how that deeply offended and frustrated him. And I think case in point is the Van Talk show, the one episode, Big Cat in PFT and Vanny Woodhead that was on ESPN. It was a real battle. They were so excited about it, like they were going to be on ESPN. But Dave demanded that it be Barstool Van Talk. Like they just wanted to be like PMT Van Talk with no affiliation to Barstool. And Dave was like, absolutely not. If we're going to be on ESPN, there will be Barstool.
When they got canceled, did that drive a bigger gap in between PFT and his relationship, or did it bridge it?
I think it bridged it. I think that's what Dave said in the chapter, is that it basically, part of my take was getting ready to go off and do their own thing. And when they got canceled from ESPN, that kind of made like the enemy is my friend. So just a shared hatred of ESPN.
Yeah, and like Dave's still there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in PFT, like if you just listen to the on-air personality, like PFT, like you wouldn't think he has anyone who he doesn't like he gets along with everybody. Which also, you're talking about agents and like the caller daddy girls. Like, I'm interested when you're at that level and that echelon, because you know you have an agent in your ear who wants you to like separate the friendship because it is a business. So like, what's your agent telling you that might be driving separation there that's not organic?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like agent being selfish. Like, so whenever you and I do hire an agent, I think the best case scenario for us is if we're going in it together, we have a shared agent because Woody and Lou's his own internal brand under the umbrella. And we tell the agent that we
currently have 3 viewers. So Braxton talking agents. Let's take that down a little bit.
Well, when this gets clipped on our documentary of the come up, that's gonna be really cool. So hey, feature me.
Which it gets to my next question. I think a good closeout for the show. What would you title your memoir?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yep.
Dan. My memoir. Like, how old am I writing it? That matters, to be honest.
How old? Let's say, so Dave's turning 50 this year. When you're 50.
Am I as successful as Dave?
I don't know. You can do whatever you think's most realistic.
Lewis Legacy.
Lewis Legacy. Okay.
Written and inspired by Lou.
Written and inspired by Lou, not Braxton or Chris.
Well, I want the L's to be a theme there.
All right. Little what's that called? Alliteration.
Yeah, what would yours be?
So I've actually thought about this and have a running joke with one of my good friends, Ricky. It's Woody. What a roller coaster ride. The highs are so high and the lows are so low.
That'd be a heck of a title page. A lot of words in that title page.
Yeah.
Are you worried about the amount of words in the title page?
It'll be a graphic of a roller coaster. It'll be good.
Oh, okay. Is the words are going with the roller coaster?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, you can put that. That'd be good. I would read your memoir. I can't wait to read my memoir from my beach house on Isle of Palms.
Yeah.
It'd be
While
nice.
you're selling cars.
I can't
You
wait.
can give a free copy of your memoir to each BMW you sell.
Yeah, whenever you download my digital business card, you get a free copy.
Yeah, free chapter. No, we're not giving away the whole book.
You get the prelude, the
Yep.
preface. There you can check it
Poland
out.
will be a good chapter in my memoir.
I mean, it's just gonna be me talking about the pizza joint.
How it changed names.
Mafia. Yeah, well, what was it? It was Mafia, and then
It was
Sicario.
Mafia, then became Sicario.
It just changed like gang organizations. When you think about it, just changed crime families.
Oh my goodness. That rush though, when you got that okay, that first the double check that they read your WhatsApp message, and then the okay.
That goes to your memoir. The highs are so high, the lows are so low. Like there's nothing worse. Nothing worse than a
Sunday night.
A blown dinner, like 8 o'clock Hail Mary pizza order that goes unread. But there was nothing higher than the Friday night, like about to get off work, okay, on the way. Like pizza's there before you even get out of your uniform. Like you're just ready to start the night. Like, those highs are just different.
All right, I think it's a good close. We do have a final message from Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter, great to see you in the chat. Hope you had a great Freedom 250. The current VAR will reignite the U.S. change decision. So we're getting back to soccer. I guess Mad Hatter's got some thoughts on U.S. strategy. I don't really know what that means, Braxton.
I didn't understand his comment, but I will give you some background. Mad Hatter has also downloaded the new the FIFA 26.
Okay.
And he's not just like playing like a dynasty.
He's doing like manager mode?
No, dude's just playing people straight up online. Like he's
That's awesome.
He's awesome. I was like, dude, you know how to do that.
That's awesome.
I think the last me and him spoke, maybe he can give an updated record. He was 1-2
online.
He was 1-2 online.
That's pretty good. I feel like he hasn't really been like a FIFA guy either. That's pretty good for a new FIFA
I've never
guy.
seen him play FIFA. And me and him bond over video games. I've never played FIFA against him. So like to hop online in this day and age.
I could just picture your dad and his fedora playing some like 9-year-old kid like from India.
I don't even know what team he uses. I know nothing. This is a newfound we got England.
Right, we might have to have another guest spot for the Mad Hatter and ask him all things FIFA, online FIFA.
I would love to know what he put in there.
England guy was red carded, very similar to U.S. I guess there's a red card in the England.
Harry Kane's hitting a penalty kick right now. Let's see how this goes. He scores 3-1 England. I think that might be game, Daniel.
That's it. And I think that's game for us, Braxton. Another great show. Episode 39. You got any closing thoughts as we go into the new week?
Happy birthday to America. I look forward to celebrating 251.
I love it. Thanks again to our award-winning listeners. As always, please share, like, subscribe, and download. Everyone have a great week.